Do you ever find yourself mindlessly doom scrolling and you realize you said it would just be 20 minutes, but 4 hours later and you're still on the couch watching the same videos and you haven't moved in a couple hours, and you think to yourself, why do I keep doing this? Well, you're not alone if that's you. And with it being spring, I've really come to my senses seeing how beautiful nature has been recently, with the trees turning green and the flowers that are blossoming in the warmer weather. I've really thought to myself, do I want to waste this season? So I've decided to stop procrastinating, to get off my phone, and to romanticize spring. So here are some ways for you to romanticize your spring season this year and make it the best spring season yet. One of the first ways that you can try to romanticize spring, and that I've been trying to do, is baking. Baking is such a thing that I have never really been good at, if I'm being completely honest, and it's something that my mom was always really good at, and I feel like there's just something so whimsical and relaxing and just kind of fun about baking something new. And one of the things I've been trying is baking fresh loaves of bread every week in the spring. It's really simple. It actually doesn't require that many ingredients. It's like flour, yeast, warm water, and salt. And there's something about starting my week off with a fresh loaf of bread, and I've actually really come to enjoy it. It's like therapy. I'll put some good music on in the background and just bake. And so baking, trying new recipes, going on Pinterest and looking up fun recipes, whether it's like spring, cupcakes to bring to your friends or just something for you, is a great way to kind of romanticize, life a little bit. Instead of just going to the store and picking up a box of cookies, like make some from scratch. It's honestly really, really fun, and I highly recommend it. The next thing that I'm gonna recommend for you to try out this spring is gardening. I recently just started a little garden. My husband made me this garden box, and we're hoping to make some more soon. But I just started off pretty simple with some peas, potatoes, radishes, and some lettuce, and they're all pretty small right now, and I've never done it before. And so we just kind of built it together and planted the seeds a couple weeks ago, and we're starting to see little sprouts. And honestly, it's been something that I look forward to every day, waking up and walking out to the backyard with the puppies and watering my little garden and getting to see that growth. I think it really reflects, spring and the growth of spring with all this new life. But it's also really fun once, the garden is officially done, to be able to, reap the vegetables that we grew together. And I'm also hoping, later in this month, once it gets a little warmer, to do a flower garden. I've been on Pinterest looking up all of the different types of flowers to plant for the season, and how fun would it be to have a fun, beautiful cut flower garden so that once they've blossomed, you can make your own bouquets. That sounds like fun to me. Instead of going to the store, I make my own bouquets. That is so much fun. For my next recommendation for you to try out this spring, I recommend, in whatever area it is, the main title is just do something creative, whatever that is. If that's painting, then go get a watercolor set and start watercoloring. Or if that's drawing for you, sketching your favorite characters from a movie or sketching something beautiful you saw. If that's music, learn a new song on the piano, or if you play the guitar, learn to practice a little bit more. I think I laugh honestly when people say that they're not creative, because we're all creative. It's just in our own different ways. So whatever that is, if that's crocheting or knitting, I wish I could knit. Or if that's sewing and you make dresses, or whatever it is, you make keychains. Great, make a bunch of keychains for your friends. There's something about doing tactile activities like that I think is so good for the mind. To just get off your phone, slow down a little bit. There's something called slow dopamine, and it's basically the dopamine that your brains really, really want, really crave, that we tend to numb out whenever we are scrolling on social media. Doing the types of things you did as a little kid, it's still there and it's still fun. Whatever it is, just adding a little bit of joy to your life that maybe you haven't had in a long time. For this next recommendation, something that will help you romanticize and enjoy spring is doing some form of physical activity. If that's going to the gym and that's your thing, girl, go to the gym. Lift those weights, like more power to you. Or if you're like me and you're not really a big gym girl, I'll lay out my Pilates mat and I'll do a little workout from home, or I'll do dance workouts even though I'm not really good at them. Or if that's going for a walk, get on your walking pad or walking around the neighborhood. Some form of physical activity is a practical way to romanticize spring and this warm weather and a new season, because moving our bodies is so good for our minds. It releases chemicals in our brains like dopamine, oxytocin, all those good feeling emotions and like chemicals that we feel just from physical activity. So if you're in a slump, sometimes I'll just get up and walk around the house. I'll put some good music on. I'll have a jam session in my house. I know it seems silly, but it actually really works. Moving our bodies is so good and so important for us, and it brings us so much joy. So doing that in a way that works for you, whether that's gym, walking, Pilates, dancing, it really doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're moving your body, and it's really good for your mental health. Now for a little speed round of some fun things that you could do this spring that will just add a little bit more fun, a little bit more joy to your season. Whether that's going on a color walk and noticing the colors around you, going out with your girlfriends to the farmer's market on the weekends and getting fresh produce or getting fresh eggs from local farmers near you. Or if that's going to, there are farms where you can actually pick flowers. My sister-in-law went and she sent me this like beautiful picture of a bouquet that she made from flowers she picked at a local farm. Going out and getting a blanket, getting your favorite book, going outside and laying that blanket down and just reading outside in the fresh air is so relaxing and so peaceful. Just sitting outside, honestly, doing nothing even, just sit outside, touch some grass, like actually touch some grass. It makes such a difference. Reading before bed and putting your phone to bed. This is something that I really struggle with. I tend to need to be watching something in order to fall asleep a lot of the times. But recently we've been reading before bedtime. My mom got me this for my birthday. It's a very pretty edition of Winnie the Pooh. And I've always loved Winnie the Pooh. And we've been reading it before bedtime, which I know sounds so silly, but honestly, it's been working. It makes me really sleepy and the stories are so sweet and spring-like, and it's very less stimulating than scrolling before bed and feeling like you can't fall asleep versus reading a sweet spring story about a bear wanting honey and all of a sudden you're drifting off to sleep, and it's just so much more relaxing. Another thing you can do is get a birdhouse. A lot of birds right now are making their little nests, and we have a birdhouse on our front porch, and I've been able to watch the birds prepare their nests for the past couple weeks actually. It's just been something that I've really enjoyed. Getting flowers that attract birds also. Like my mom has these flowers she hangs on her back porch that attract hummingbirds, and she absolutely loves sitting on her back porch and seeing the hummingbirds fly by. Those are some quick things that I would recommend of just adding into your daily routine and just looking up, looking for the joy, looking for how can I make this day count, even if it is small, even if it is, I went for a walk and I saw a pretty flower. Okay, that's a step, So whatever that is, just choosing to romanticize and enjoy the good makes spring what I feel like is what makes spring so special, because it's such a beautiful season and there's so much good in it, and we just have to look for it and sometimes highlight it and really feel it because there's so much good. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left me a like or subscribe, because I will be posting once a week. On the weekends I'll post. And if you have any recommendations for things that you do in the spring that you've found has helped you add more joy, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to know, truly, so that I can add it to my list of things that I want to try as well. But I will see you soon. I will be posting another video next week, and I will see you then.